Now, you remember in the last episode, I finally made a start on that fabulous but damaged 1967 Bentley T Convertible that I purchased from Alex Manos in LA. I sourced a second-hand suspension and luckily squeezed it into my old Mercedes estate and get it home, so there was no excuse but to get stuck in. So the strip down commenced, and although everything came apart nicely, the damage was evident. The car had been hit so hard, not only had it wiped out the rear quarter, but its wishbone had been completely ripped out with the impact, resulting in a non-repairable, destroyed subframe. So welcome back, guys. Let's just take a look under here now it's all removed. I think I could do the new chassis like here. Yeah, you can see where it's all completely mangled. We'll see how straight it pulls, but I'm worried about this split here because it's got nothing to pull on. Let's have a look at the other side. I just want to see the shape and the angle of the chassis leg itself, because I think I'm definitely going to need a new one of them. Yeah. I think the boot floor will go again, as I said, and most of this will just beat out flat again, you know, just get the shape back again once it's pulled. Yeah, it's amazing this petrol tank isn't leaking. It's really amazing. Need a new back valance as well. Yeah, long way to go yet. Oh, and before I forget, this is one of the old brake pipes from underneath. Now, even though they look completely brand new, completely blocked. Now, I think it took half a dozen off, so 2 of them were blocked, the rest were clear, but I can't take the chance. So I took the liberty of, you see there's about 12 or 13 of these. I've ordered the full set off IntroCar, and it just adds to the list, doesn't it? The workload, yeah, so I've got to fit all these as well. There's another day's work, but yeah, the way it goes, isn't it? Do it once, do it properly. Anyway, so without further ado, let's get on and start the laborious job of the teardown of this newly acquired suspension. But first, I have to remove these old height control valves, send them off to IntroCar as an exchange in return for some brand new ones. Now, this isn't as easy as it sounds, because whilst you take it apart, make a mental note of every pipe, cable, spacer, nut and washer, and remember where everything goes, because everything is carefully designed to have a purpose. So if you don't, reconstruction is a nightmare and you'll get problems further down the line. So it's off with the solenoid, which has seen better days, so I'll replace this with a new one from IntroCar. And then I have to take off this wishbone on the right hand side, which is in good order and can be reused alongside the replacement wishbone for the left hand side and the replacement subframe. Next, it's off with what I call the Brillo pads. Now, as I've explained, these act as a kind of shock absorber, and you can see where the one at the front has been completely destroyed by the impact. So I'm going to require new ones of these. All these bolts are coming apart so easily, and it's clearly evident this car's never been messed about with. And I wouldn't be surprised, you know, if this car's low mileage is actually original. Brake fluid looks clean. As do the discs. And all these lines are going to have to be replaced. And I definitely need one of these half axles. Now you can see on this one, it must have been one that was a few years later because this has got an anti-roll bar fitted. But back in 1967, this wasn't even thought about. This was introduced to improve or stiffen up the wallowy ride that Rolls-Royces were famous for, or infamous for, whichever way you want to look at it. But because mine's the earliest car and of such historical provenance, I've decided to keep it as original as possible and exactly how it left the factory back in 1967. And I wish that was all, but now I'm going to have to start the laborious job of taking every single item and part off this, then stripping the subframe, painting it, and reconstructing it with all the new parts I get from IntroCar. Oh, come on. What else is there to do on Sundays? Have a roast dinner, check out some football, cars and coffee, or how about Footman James's Coffee and Chrome down at the Chateau Impney in the Midlands, where they've asked me to come along and do a little bit of judging. Yeah, I think I could do with a break, don't you? Okay, I'm in the Porsche 928 GT. It's eating up these country roads in the Cotswolds. It's a beautiful summer's morning and I'm off to Footman James's Coffee and Chrome at the Chateau Impney. It's a total sellout, so I'm expecting some lovely cars, nice people, nice bacon butty or whatever's on offer. And yeah, I know I've done this before, but it's probably been over a year since I came to the last one. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a lovely day. It's going to be like 26 degrees and it's going to be rounded off. I'm going to find a nice country pub, have a nice lunch, and I'm going to sit and watch Liverpool against Crystal Palace in the Charity Shield Cup final. So life's good and the car's running well. Chateau Impney, originally known as Impney Hall, was built between 1869 and 1875 for John Corbett, a wealthy salt industrialist nicknamed the Salt King. Coffee. It was built to remind his French wife of the Chateau of the Loire Valley. It became a hotel in the 1920s, was requisitioned during World War II, reopened as Chateau Impney Hotel after the war, and has since expanded to a conference and exhibition centre, but thereby losing some of its original features like the walled garden. In my mind, it's a great place to have a classic car meet and a great way to spend a Sunday, especially if the weather's nice like this. You know, the good thing about this meet is there's always an eclectic mix of old and new, and plenty of people ready to tell their stories and share their trials and tribulations of their restorations. Now, I wouldn't say this is my cup of tea, but again, it's evocative of my childhood. These Alpha Suds rotted before they even left the showroom. I think they just had a thin coat of paint, they weren't under sealed properly, and they were literally rotted through within 18 months. So it's unusual to see one in this condition. I'm sure it's been repainted somewhere in its life, and it looks like it's done. Is that 81,000? It looks really low mileage. The seats are being well looked after, they're always covered up. It's just a lovely little car from the 70s or early 80s, isn't it? Yeah. Nice colour as well, nice paint job. Yeah, just unusual. Great little engines on them cars as well. The silver Boxster. I remember I was driving along the Strand in Liverpool, and right by the Albert Dock at the traffic lights, there was one of these, same colour, but it had red leather interior, and it was on fire. And as I pulled up alongside, I was like, "What's going on, lads?" And it was Jamie Redknapp and Jason McAtee. They went, "It just burst into flames." Stupidly, I went and bought one the next week. I was just blown away by the way it looked, and it had them humps on the back, you know, what you put behind the back seats. I think they were an extra for like 600 quid, whatever. And I bought one in metallic black. Great little car. Never even saw the engine. The only car I've ever owned where I never even saw the engine. Mid-engine car, but never once even took the cover off to have a look. Great car. Nice Jaguar XJS. This is a bit newer than mine. You'll notice the back end's completely different. It sort of has the lights that go right the way across the back. And they always look good in the Jaguar British Racing Green. Yeah, nice example. BM 6 Series. Wow, just look at this. This is probably over 100 years old, this car. I think it was Henry Ford, wasn't it? I think he made like 1,000 cars a week, you know, affordable cars for the normal people. The common people. But look, it's still going strong after all these years, over 100 years old. Some of these cars are not going to be here. Some of these new cars in 10 years, they'll be in a scrapyard. It's unbelievable. Pure Laurel and Hardy. Look at that, just a simple engine. You know, if they broke down, you could always get them going again. Phenomenal cars, flathead. Oh yeah, an Alpine Renault. These won everything, these in the rallies. And remember, I was invited here to do a bit of judging. Well, for me, this was definitely the pick of the show. Wow. Wow. Really small car when you're up close as well. What a car. Lovely in white as well. Remember these in the 1970s? Like World of Sport, you know, at lunchtime on a Saturday, screaming around the rally track. Oh. Fitting reg for a ham. No, my Uncle Leo bought one of these brand new back in the late 60s, early 70s. The Triumph Tess. I mean, you know, they were really well marketed at the time, and I suppose they were up against the likes of the Pagodas, and they couldn't even cut it, you know, they couldn't even get close. But, you know, if you had a few bob, you'd get one of these, like the little sporty one. And as always, they used to rot right through within about 2 years. You don't see many of these about anymore, but lovely little things. And as always, there's great food, great hospitality, and great coffee. But after that nice little interlude, back to the grind. Right, so it's pointless us doing all this work on our classics to keep them pristine and looking after them and maintaining them and then throwing them all out to the elements. So remember the company, it was called Race Glaze, where I used the kit which cleans up the lights, you know, when the lights go yellow, and I'm sure you'll agree it was, you know, to some great success. I mean, it's a fantastic little kit. Well, I was looking into them, and they also do car covers for cars. They do like indoor covers, they do breathable storm covers, you know, for outdoors. And let's face it, we can't always put our classics in the garage, especially when you've got as many as I have, and I'm having to do an eclectic mix of cars and so many episodes a month. You know, you have to be able to jump onto different ones, and it's interesting for the viewers as well as it is for me. But you know, the XJS is going to be a couple of weeks outside, and I know it's kind of coming to the end of summer, but the winter's going to be soon upon us. So anyway, I thought to dig in and just try out what they've got in the way of car covers, because, oh yeah, look at this. You know, I got one from Richbrook for the 928 GT. Let's compare them anyway. This looks really nice. Very swanky bag. Yeah, but what you want is, you don't want a cover that's going to sweat the car and you're going to have damage to the paint. You know, you've also got to protect your car from the sun, you know, from the UV rays, as well as the stormy weather and the rain and the snow and everything else, and leaves and, you know, bird poop and all the rest of it. Look at that. It's absolutely lovely, that. Lovely and soft. It's different for the one I've got for the Porsche. This was like, wow. Oh, that's really swanky. Lovely stuff. It's like a heavy, silky cotton, but it's for indoor as well as outdoor. It's completely waterproof, but it's totally breathable as well. Let's see what it looks like on the car. Let's hope we get it the right way round. Yeah. And that material is lovely. You know, it's strong, it's ever so slightly stretchy. And as I say, it's like a silk almost, like a silk and cotton mix. And yeah, I don't think I've ever felt material like this. I think this was the right way around. And if you're interested in this item, I'm going to leave a link in the episode description below. Wow. And you know, I like covers that go all the way to the ground. Because you know, we get some pretty stonking winters here in the UK. And when you get them gusts of wind and it's horizontal rain that's going underneath the car, you know, it's not good. But this material, as I said before, is really nice because it's weighty. It's slightly stretchy and it's lovely and soft, so it won't damage the car, but it's weighty enough and the elastic's strong enough that if you have got like a 24 scale wind, it's not going to blow off, which is always a nightmare. And of course it's got the straps that go underneath as well. So yeah, it's, you know, it's great, and it's nice when you feel like your car's being properly protected in the winter and the sun and everything else. Anyway, yeah. So, let's carry on. A quick jet wash of the replacement subframe to clean it up ready for swapping over a few brackets from the old original subframe, which are genetically the same apart from this. The replacement wishbone is similar apart from having the shock absorber mounting through the spring instead of next to it. So I removed the bowl from this, get rid of any debris before a thorough clean, before removing the shock absorber holder from the old original one and reinstalling it on this one. So as you can see here, I'm cutting off the shock absorber holder bracket from the original wishbone and I'm welding it onto the replacement one. Now, as I explained before, these are the brackets from the old subframe. I'm swapping them over to the replacement subframe, and these hold the solenoids, any junctions for the brakes, and any valves. so the pipework stays exactly the same and all the electrical wires are exactly the same also. Even though I'm replacing all the brake lines for new, this just keeps things easier and more straightforward. And as you can see, this is no easy task. It's fiddly, it's dirty, and it's probably a whole day's work. I then apply some etch primer when I've got the subframe as clean as I can possibly get it, followed by 2 coats of primer. And then the top coat. That'll do. Thank you for watching this episode of Classic Obsession. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe. And see you all next time.